Welcome back, map starers and empire builders. I'm Alex, your community ambassador, and today we'll be breaking down the key highlights of the 1.2 update for Europa Universalis. As many of you know, we're gearing up for a massive drop on May 6th. Alongside the fate of the Phoenix Immersion Pack, we're releasing our 1.2 free update, codenamed Echinades. And let me tell you, this free update is absolutely packed to the brim and will fundamentally change the way you play Europa Universalis V. From entirely reworked trade systems to the Holy Roman Empire to new Catholic mechanics, these changes are completely free for all players. So grab a cup of tea, pull up a chair, and let's break down everything coming in Update 1.2. Let's kick things off with what you'll notice right away. We're adding a good amount of new content to Greece and the Balkans, which will tie perfectly with the new Immersion Pack, but is completely free for everyone. This includes over 300 new advances, around 150 new dynamic historical events, new countries, reforms, privileges, and setup tweaks. And to help you manage all of this new content, we're introducing a highly requested quality of life feature, the in-game event viewer and wall of content. You can now properly track and manage everything happening across your sprawling empire without getting lost in the wikis. Let's now jump to one of the most complex, politically dense, and previously frustrating areas of the game, the Holy Roman Empire. We heard your feedback loud and clear. The previous implementation of the Imperial Diet presented all your information in a flat layout that made it incredibly difficult to distinguish members, policies, and finances at a glance. So we rebuilt the Imperial Diet panel from the ground up. The panel now introduces a beautifully organized tabbed structure. You've got your Overview tab, a dedicated Members tab, and a Finances tab. Every dimension of managing the Empire now has its own dedicated, easy-to-read space. You'll also notice a sleek new Parliament icon right at the top. But here is another massive quality of life change. The HRE header now exposes the active modifier stacks directly. This means you can now see exactly what buffs and penalties the Empire is currently carrying without having to dig through 5 layers of tooltips. It's all right there, front and center. Next, let's talk about the lifeblood of any empire, the economy. The trade system has now been completely reworked. We've updated route calculations, capacity consumption, and added scaling path cost penalties. Maritime presence now directly impacts path cost calculations, and subject navies will even contribute to your overall maritime presence. On top of that, we've globally reduced trade capacity costs and sound tolls income, and added a new set of trade efficiency modifiers, as well as introduced a brand new trade offers feature. But what about your cities? Well, we're thrilled to introduce urban rights. You can now grant urban rights to any urban location with 30 unique variants tailored to specific countries and cultural groups. And for those of you building truly massive empires, we've added a new maximum level for urban locations, the Megalopolis, which is upgradable from a capital, which is also a trade center. To help manage these economic powerhouses, there's a new goods tab in the location view to easily display the output and income of each good. Pops now grow organically instead of just promoting from peasants. And we've added a new line of colonial administration buildings for your overseas territories. Throw in an overhauled court cost calculation, historical adjustments to the starting setup, and tweaks to the economic AI, and managing your nation's wealth is going to feel deeper than ever. Moving out onto the global stage, politics and diplomacy have also seen huge additions. We're introducing AI personalities, dynamic area preferences, and a complete overhauled AI disposition system. Your AI rivals will now act much more logically based on their proximity and strategic goals. For the faithful, we've introduced a brand new Papal authority system. It's a 0 to 100 resource tracked within the Catholic Church International Organization, with a critical threshold at 75 and 25. That interconnect with all Catholic mechanics and situations. On the Orthodox side, we've overhauled autocephalous patriarchates. Patriarchs are now characters, and the law and tenant system has been reworked so that some doctrines are fixed while others can be changed. And right power has been fully replaced by religious influence. We've also improved seat reallocation and seat capture events. Speaking of characters, we've added health and cabinet traits, meaning you can now track your ruler's physical well-being and cabinet effectiveness. Plus, we've improved topography management and made meaningful changes to the revolts and civil wars, as well as tweaked diplomatic capacity, trust, and subject management. We also didn't forget the rest of the world. Expect targeted improvements to international organizations like the Swiss Confederation, Middle Kingdom, and Tartar Yoke, alongside various situation tweaks. What would Europa Universalis be without a little bit of conquest? Military logistics are getting a major upgrade, with crucial changes to food distribution, consumption, logistics distance, and naval supplies. On the battlefield, heavy and light troops are now effectively split into two distinct categories with different upgrade paths. We've also added a new Siege Raider military stance for subjects, and your allied transports can now finally transport your troops. To save you time, we've implemented a Save as Template button, and a smart unit type recruitment for your armies. For your cities and new megalopolises, you can now construct city walls to bolster your defenses. We've added extensive rebalances to the land and naval combat, like war score calculation changes, naval battles now lasting a minimum of 3 days, but more importantly, copper and tin are no longer required to construct naval supply buildings, as those requirements were a bottleneck that made early navies unreasonably depend on specific trade routes, and cloth has now been added as a new input material to preserve meaningful upkeep without the bottleneck. We want the game to look as good as it plays, so we've added a beautiful 3D visual on the map for the new city walls. And the Holy Roman Emperor now wears the Reichscrown visually. Remember those health traits I mentioned earlier? You'll also now see disfigured visual effects on characters who have suffered severe injuries or illness. For our incredible modding community, we've also added bureaucracies and movements as a generic content delivery system, giving modders powerful new tools to build their own systems from. And finally, the 1.2 update comes with around 2,000 bug fixes and minor tweaks to polish your grand strategy experience. So to recap, we've overhauled the economy with new trade systems and megalopolises, we've completely reworked the HRE and religious mechanics, we've done deep logistical changes to warfare, added character traits, and completed over 2,000 bug fixes. Update 1.2 Echinades is an absolute game changer and launches on May 6, right alongside the fate of the Phoenix Immersion Pack. Are you excited to build a new Megalopoli, dominate the reworked Imperial Diet, or test out the new military logistics? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the official EU channel for more updates, and ring that bell. Until next time, I've been Alex, good luck out there, and remember, be ambitious.